it going, all my tacticians? Welcome back to another video from yours truly. And today we're going to be talking about, no, not Landorus Therian. We all know he sucks. We all know he's a jerk. We also know that there's a very high chance that Landorus Therian comes back. In which case, may Arceus have mercy upon us all. Because seriously, Game Freak, you have one of the best metas I've ever seen in this generation. Seriously, I've never seen a generation with this much diversity. Like, seriously, Durant, flippin' hustle Durant, and Pikachu made it to the finals in the most recent VGC challenge competition. Seriously, that was streamed. Pikachu and Durant. When do those two ever get to be shown off in any kind of competitive setting other than this one that we're in right now? And you bring back Landorus? Did you not learn from VGC 2015? VGC 2016? When Landorus was on every team? The Landorus Therian form, I mean? Did you not learn when we had genies on every team and it was Heatran and Cresselia all the time with the other genies? But regardless, we're not talking about Landorus Therian tonight. No, we're talking about Intimidate. We're talking about Intimidate here because Intimidate got a huge nerf this generation. I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of this, but like I said, Landorus Therian and all the other Intimidate Pokemon got a massive nerf from previous generation in Generation 8. There are now 4 new abilities that counter Intimidate and prevent the Pokemon that has the ability from having its physical attack stat lowered, which is exceptionally powerful for certain Pokemon. Like, very, very powerful for many of them. Because, I don't know about you, but I don't like Intimidate. I don't like being intimidated at all. Especially with Pokemon like Arcanine, who can not only be a physical attacker, but also be a special attacker and run Intimidate so that it can't be intimidated. You know, if it's a special attacker, Intimidate reduces the physical attack stat by 1 stage. But if Arcanine's a special attacker, it doesn't care if it's intimidated because it's not using that physical attack stat. Unless it's using the extreme speed. But let's face it, if you're using extreme speed, it's because your opponent is at like 1 HP. And it doesn't matter how many Intimidates you are. 1 damage is still 1 damage. Now, you're probably asking yourself, Impy, Reshiram, TK, what is this nerf you are talking about? What is this nerf that you are referring to? Well, I'm going to talk about it right here and now. Now, as you can see on screen, I have a little Growlithe and the Sigilif. There's a reason why I'm doing this. And my friend here, he's got a couple of, interesting Pokemon that are going to be shown off here. Going to be demonstrating what I'm talking about when it comes to the Intimidate nerfs. Now, first of all, like I said, I'm going to lead off with my Intimidator and Sigilif. Sigilif is not going to do anything in this battle. It's just going to go for skill swaps. Just going to get that Intimidate going and going and going again. But my opponent can lead off with his Sorachi and Witchstrom. And I'm just, like I said, leading off with Growlithe and Sigilif. This is just for demonstration purposes. Now, as you can see, I'm intimidating. Uh-oh, Scrappy not lowering. Uh-oh, Inner Focus not lowered. There you go. That's it. Inner Focus and Scrappy now block Intimidate. So Pokemon like Scrappy, or not Scrappy, or Scrappy, but Pokemon with the Scrappy ability, like Surfetch'd here, they can block Intimidate. That's actually very powerful, very useful. Now he's swapping out here into his Avalugg, and he's gonna go into, I think it was the Mudsdale as well. Okay, yeah, here we go. He's training out the Oranguru for the Mudsdale. Now, Mudsdale gets access to 2 abilities. Own Tempo and Inner Focus as well. And here we go. Intimidate. Uh-oh. Own tempo doesn't work. Uh-oh. Inner focus not working. That's right. Inner focus and own tempo block the intimidate. And oh yeah, I'm sorry about the attack there. I didn't realize, level 1 Bork would do so much damage to an Avalugg. Like seriously, this Growlithe is not trained at all. It's literally just a level 1 I just grabbed to, show off Intimidate. But it's not like these Pokemon still can't be intimidated. I'm telling you right now, Intimidate is still dangerous. It still can do a ton of damage, but it has its counters now. Pokemon with Inner Focus are not going to be intimidated. They won't lose physical attack. But if they don't have it, they can still be intimidated. So, gotta be aware of that. So, there are options to countering Landorus Therian. As you can see here. I'm gonna go for the Intimidate here again. I'm gonna show off that Intimidate still works. So, it's not, dead, but it still works. So, the Intimidate still goes off. I go for the Ember here just to, just so I don't blow him up again. And that is pretty much it. So, how does this work? What is going on here? What is the nerf that we are talking about when it comes to Intimidate, and why, or what is this? How does it work? Well, all right. So here we are. We're back here. We are now on the Intimidate page on Bulbapedia. So pretty much where I go to check out all sorts of facts and data, etc. Just so I'm going for team buildings, etc. As you can see here, Generation 8 onwards, Intimidate no longer affects Pokemon with Inner Focus, Oblivious, Scrappy, Own Tempo, and it actually now triggers the ability Rattled. So Pokemon with the Rattled ability will now gain their speed increase if they're intimidated. And, that actually is quite useful for some of them. Own Tempo Pokemon, like you saw, like Mudsdale is one very common, Pokemon in VGC now. A lot of people give their Mudsdales, etc., the stamina ability, so that they can keep gaining more defensive stats, so they can make use of that body press ability. Others, however, I've seen are going for Own Tempo and swaggering their Mudsdales. And at the time, I'm like, or before, I was like, oh, I'll just, just keep swapping out Intimidate to lower that attack stat as much as possible. But that no longer works. You can no longer just you can no longer throw just Landorus Therian out there and just intimidate everything on the field. You now have to think about what Pokemon your opponent is bringing and their abilities. Because, yeah, Intimidate is still strong. Don't get me wrong, it's still dangerous. But it no longer is the threat that it once was. You can still bring certain Pokemon, you can still take them out. For example, let's take a look at Own Tempo, etc., to see what we can talk about here. So, obviously, Smeargle may come back, maybe not. But, let's see, we have access to Avalugg, so there's a Trick Room Pokemon you can bring with Own Tempo. You also have access to, like I said, the Mudsdale. So, that's another Pokemon that you can bring with it, to help counter Intimidate Pokemon, especially if you're running in the Trick Room setting. Also, same with the Inner Focus. In fact, let's go over to Inner Focus, see which counters can, potentially come up against the Landorus Therian. So, Hitmonchan, there's one, Inner Focus. I'm not sure if you can find hidden ability Hitmonchan, but even though it has that Iron Fist ability, that Inner Focus is actually more impressive now. And same with Dragonite. I'm not sure if Dragonite is going to be coming back this generation with the new DLC, but if it comes back, yeah, that multi-scale is powerful, but then again, there's that Inner Focus. That Inner Focus might be actually very powerful if you want to bring that. And of course, there's like one of my fans' personal favorites, Lucario. He gets access to Inner Focus as well. And I think he actually gains access to, I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, maybe Lucario gains access to Ice Punch. Because if it gains access to Ice Punch, let me double check. See, does it gain access to to an ice. Yep, there we go. Ice punch. So gains access to ice punch. He can. It doesn't matter if you bring in that Landorus Therian. That's gonna do a ton of damage. And Lucario can also learn endure. So I think if it learns endure, wait, let's see, does it learn endure? Oh, I'm surprised it can learn life dew. That is weird. There's a lot of Pokemon that can learn ice or life dew. There's a lot of Pokemon that can learn life dew. Okay, but point is, Landorus Therian no longer as dangerous as it used to be. Landorus Therian, at least. Intimidate as well. No longer the fearsome threat, that wants to ruin your team, etc., etc. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, learned a thing or two. And if you fear Intimidate, well, now you know that Intimidate is no longer as scary as it used to be. There are a bunch of new abilities now that counter Intimidate. You also have your classic, you have your classic competitive Milotic, for example. It doesn't care about that physical attack stat. That competitive ability will raise its special attacks 2 stages. And that's going to be very scary for Pokemon that, don't want to deal with a +2 Milotic. And of course, you have access to your Defiant Pokemon. Sure, they'll lose one of their +2 physical attack stats. But hey, one physical attack stat increase is probably all that Pokemon needs to, just cause some serious damage. The only thing I fear, though, is that Landorus Therian is allowed to come back in its Therian form, simply because of the 4 type moves it gets access to. Like, it gets access to a fighting type move, like in Superpower. It gets access to a ground type move, an Earthquake. It gets access to a rock type move, like, say, in Rock Slide, etc. It gets access to a flying type move, like I think in Fly. It just gets access to so many things that, in my opinion, it just does not have any right to learn. It does not deserve so much power for this Pokemon. And there's a reason why people don't like it coming back. Like, I think on Smogon or something, it has like a 50%, it had a 50% usage when it came to being the Dynamax Pokemon on people's teams. I'm like, oh my goodness, that is bad. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.